Drink it in, man.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions! Cornbread! Cornbread! Cornbread!
Drink it in, man.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions! Touchdown, Detroit Lions! Cornbread!
Drink it in, drink it in, drink it in, man.
Detroit Koolaid drinkers, what is going on, everybody? It is Wednesday here on the show. Ready to talk some Lions. Matt Stafford versus the Lions went down. We'll get into that. But we also got a fun segment here that we're going to do off the top for the show. And if there's only one man, there's only one guest that I can do a good fun segment with here on the show. We have some of the best guests on the Detroit Koolaid Cast. I'm your host, Derek Oakrey. But this week I've got the one and only Joey Christopoulos at Joey Sports Guy. I mean, he's on every social platform. He's putting out incredible content. Joey, how you doing today on a Wednesday?
Derek, I'm doing great, man. Great to be back on the Detroit Koolaid Cast. It's Halloween week. Been ripping them horror movies. Been having myself a nice time, ready to talk some football with you.
There you go, exactly. Now, usually when you come on, we're talking NFC North. I mean, we're talking Bears Lions. We've been through all that. So what I want to do here on this first segment is going to be a little bit of a rapid-fire, shorter show. Is I want you, my friend, if you're willing, to play the role of the national media, of the people that talk about the Detroit Lions. Now, limited talking about the Lions, or usually negatively, but I kind of want you to play that role, and then I'm going to do what I love to do, one of my favorite things to do, and that's play the role of the loyal, the diehard, the absolute, just resolute Detroit Lions diehard fans, the Detroit Kool-Aid drinkers that are listening to this show. So I thought we'd throw a few topics out. You kind of tell me what you're hearing nationally, or even what you think maybe, and disguise it as national talk. And then I'll give you the Lions side of things. You want to get into that?
Yeah, man. Let's give it a shot. I think Kool-Aid drinkers get your shots ready here. Yeah, dude. Let's dive right in. I got some questions. I definitely got some questions for the Lions brethren. Let's do it.
Exactly. Let's get into it. First of all, like you said, glass of that Honolulu Kool-Aid.
Drink it in, man.
Now, Drew, I'm going to throw this one at you, because if there's no other place to start than with Dan Campbell. I often call him on the show Dan freaking Campbell, okay? Like, I want to know what you think national media, maybe yourself, maybe the doubters out there are thinking about the head coach of the Detroit Lions.
Okay, so I'll get the first question here. Dan Campbell, hi. Joey from Domino's.com. I got a question for you. Look, it's your first season as coach. You've bitten some kneecaps. You've cried a bucket of man tears. You're like a combination of Hannibal versus Grey's Anatomy. What's next for you, Coach? Are you looking at a win anytime soon? How is the first year going for your Campbell's chunky group of men?
Oh my God! All right, we're off the rails here early. We're taking this in all types of directions. That's okay. Now, Mr. Campbell, don't reply. I got this. My name's Derek Oakrey. I'm the host of the Detroit Koolaid Cast. I speak for all of the Detroit Lions loyal fans, the Detroit Kool-Aid drinkers out there. And here's the thing. You can bring up kneecaps. You could talk about chunkies, whatever you want to do out there, all the people. Everyone has a take, an opinion on, oh, he's being too aggressive. Oh, Dan Campbell's all these gimmicks. Oh, he doesn't wear his hat on straight at the press conferences. He put on a racing helmet. He did all these things. You know what Dan Campbell is? You know what Mr. Campbell, the head coach of the Detroit Lions, is, Joey? He is real. He's a real human being, and he's a football guy. He eats, sleeps, and breathes football. He played for years and years. He's tough-minded. He can beat up any coach in the NFL. That's for damn sure if we're in the cage. And he knows what he's doing. Now, every game that he's been out there, yeah, he's had a couple questionable things here or there, but Dan Campbell is out there knowing he doesn't have the talent yet, knowing that he's trying to build a new culture, but it's not there yet, but also has been in a lot of these football games. He's fell a little bit short. He's a positive guy. He's got this whole thing rolling in the right direction. Now he's like, all I got to do now is drop in a few stud players at the premier positions, and we're going to be rolling because I got all these undrafted low rookies that are dogs that are out there hustling and working hard and keeping us in football games against much superior talent and teams. So Dan Campbell's ready to go. That's what everybody here in Detroit thinks. Everybody else can doubt him all they want. It doesn't matter.
So just follow up on that real quick from right here from Dominoes.com. So when you're looking at the end of the season, right, there's a lot of pieces that you're going to decide to take with you long term moving forward. You're saying Dan Campbell is a long term piece?
I mean, absolutely. The guy got a 6-year contract. Mr. Campbell, he loves the Detroit Lions, the organization, the team he's building in his mold. Him, along with general manager Brad Holmes, like, he's here for the long haul. Expect great improvements in years 2, 3, and beyond. I think the city loves him. All they're waiting for is W's. And despite the frustration and the people telling us, be patient, we know we weren't going to be good. Everybody wants a win in the National Football League. But the diehards, the Kool-Aid drinkers know in time it'll come, and it'll come behind a leader of men like Dan Campbell. Dan freaking Campbell. Next question.
Hi, my name is Clive Orenthal. I'm from the Grand Rapids Rambler.org. This question is for Jared Goff. Mr. Jared, you have 6 interceptions, 6 fumbles, 4 lost. Maybe this goes over to your counterpart Derek here, because Joey Sports Guy was on the show earlier this season and said to us Lions fans that you deserved better. So, Mr. Goff, do you feel like you're underwhelmed, overwhelmed, or just plain whelmed with your play this season?
Mr. Goff, if you would please, I got this. Like, again, I got to stand up for number 16, the quarterback of the Detroit Lions, the city of Detroit, what we're building here. And again, cheap shots across the board here with this guy. Everyone wants to call out everything he's doing. He can't throw downfield. He has trouble throwing spirals. He has tiny hands. He's dropping the football. All these little things. But what he is doing is he's come in here. He said everything right. He, at times, when he's given time in the pocket as well as short passes, he's able to connect on those. He is a leader. He was voted captain. I mean, Jared Goff is the guy they brought in here thinking this is the type of guy that can take all the bullets. He can still make plays. He's got a good head on his shoulders. Yes, he's making a big chunk of money. This is the guy that can be here for 2, possibly 3 years, even when the fans are getting short, wanting the new rookie, wanting somebody else, and can make plays. So you can throw out all these turnover numbers. He wants those to come down. He's understanding. He also does want to push the football field down. He wants to push the ball down the football field. But have you seen the receivers on this team? Like, it's going to get there, trust me. So Mr. Goff is very confident in his position. The fan base may want a new dynamic leader, but they know that Jared Goff is here during this rebuild. He is going to get it going, and if they can get in some receivers and add pieces like they will in this next draft, well, why can't he come back and be a mid to upper mid quarterback in the NFL? No reason why.
I have a question. Crispin Crackerjack, DetroitDads.org here. DeAndre Swift is the best Lions running back since blank.
Well, Mr. Crackerjack, I mean, that's simple. He's the best running back since Burry was here in Detroit. I mean, this guy Mr. Swift here, who again is very quiet when he does his press conferences, usually only a couple words that he uses as replies. He's smooth as silk both on and off the field. And DeAndre Swift is being used great by Dan freaking Campbell, by Jared Goff, who you guys also asked about earlier. He's being thrown the football to. He's doing outside runs. He's using the speed, his shiftiness. And have you seen him lower the boom on a couple people? It's all about that boom. You guys know what I'm talking about. Like, he is the angry runs winner 2 years ago from Kyle Brandt on Good Morning Football. Like, this guy's got power. He can catch. He can run around you. He could jump over you. He could do everything he needs to. So DeAndre Swift is a silky smooth athlete and the best running back for the Detroit Lions since number 20 was here doing big things.
I have a question. My name is Rupert from MotorCityKittyUK.com. Any update at wide receiver of maybe who will play this week? Roy Williams, Mike Williams, Charles Rogers. Can you talk about Khalif Raymond? And additionally, is Tyrell Williams alive right now? I will sit down and let you answer.
Oh my goodness. That's a good question. The lack of talent at receiver has been an issue. It's been a cracker, you might call it. A little bit of a crikey, but they're aware of this, and I feel like the team itself is getting lots of production out of Mr. Khalif Raymond. You can find him in your program as well as on the stat sheet. He's putting up some nice numbers. As far as Tyrell Williams goes, as the person speaking here for the loyal fan base of Detroit, I mean, we cannot speak for what his medical situation is. We do wish he was out on the football field. We did not get to see him more than a quarter or two in that opener, and that's very disappointing, especially when people continue to come back from concussions on a weekly, bi-weekly basis. It's now been 8 weeks. We have no updates on him, but wish him all the well and wish he could be out in the field making plays. And yeah, the other guys are a rookie. St. Brown is coming along, as well as lots of injuries as we have across this team, Quintez Cephas and others. But the Detroit Lions and the organization, Dan Campbell and company, know that they can add receivers basically anytime they want to. They decided not to this year and are just rolling with it. But in the coming years, we will have talent at that position, as well as we may find a diamond in the rough in Mr. Raymond and others. So not too concerned about the receiver position. They're all working hard, and we appreciate that.
My name is Curtis Baper from Michigander Salamander Times. Are there brighter days ahead for TJ Hawkinson? That knee injury has kind of held him back the last couple of weeks. Do you see him and golf beginning to connect again like they did in training camp? I'll sit down and let you answer.
I appreciate that. I mean, you called him, TJ Hawkinson on the show here, and for the Kool-Aid drinkers, we refer to him as T.J. Hawkinson. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, again, I'm speaking for the fan base. I'm kind of standing up for us based on some of these questions for you guys that don't watch on a daily basis or whatnot. Like, I think TJ Hawkinson gets a lot of love from the national media. He's this top flight tight end. He's the best receiver, best player on the offensive side of the ball for the Lions, a lot of people will say. And I like him as a football player. He's a quality player. Now, I'm starting to wonder where his ceiling is. I haven't seen many 100-yard games, seen many big plays. I started to see some early things with him and Goff this season. Those have tapered off quickly. So where is he at as a player? I mean, is he a trade candidate? I mean, that seems crazy, but to me, I mean, you can win without a top flight, game-changing tight end, and is he that? We will see. So I think everybody in the city loves Hawkinson. A lot of the people on Twitter are always like, man, TJ Hawkinson is just untradeable. This is a great player, but it's all about value. It's all about position, premier positions. It's about what you're paying where and to who, and also what kind of impact they make on Sundays. So I think TJ Hawkinson has quite a bit to sort of continue to prove, as well as he has given himself a nice resume. So I think it's a little bit TBD on Mr. Hawkinson, but also if they can surround him with other pieces and put that dynamic quarterback and build up this defense, he's a really nice piece, young player, somebody that you could build around.
Okay, everyone, we have time for 2 more. Okay, all right. Jeez. Hi, Charlie Smarley from Ann Arbor High School. When will you guys win a game?
Is that a real question? Seriously?
Yeah, I'm just curious. When were you like the Lions? When were you gonna win a game?
Well, what was your name again?
Charlie Smarley from the Ann Arbor High School Times.
Well, Charlie, I apologize. Like I say, again, speaking for the team, the fan base, the loyal Detroit Koolaid drinkers, we're trying to win every game, Charlie. We've been trying to win, but we knew that the wins were going to be a little bit tough to come by. I mean, you understand that, right? So it's a little bit tough to get W's in the National Football League. So we're working hard. We're trying. We came close a few times. I mean, we'll talk about this Rams game here in a moment. It was kind of a win in sorts for the Lions, even though it's not a W in the columns. So I feel like, people just need to hang in there. We're playing Philadelphia, which we might talk about later here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast on the Friday show. That may be the W. So, Charlie, it's coming, man. It's coming. You need to be patient and not ask me questions like this if we ever have another presser. All right, Charlie? Like, we're going to get a W. Don't you worry. Don't you worry, buddy.
Okay, I guess.
Excuse me. I'll take the floor from here. Hello. Final question. Tristan Thompson from The Atlantic. Who will Dan Campbell have present his award at the Guinness Book of World Records headquarters when he breaks the all-time world record for most heartbreaking last-second losses in one season?
Man, another intriguing question, as most of these have been. Some of them have caught me off guard, to be perfectly honest with you. But as far as the Guinness Book, I think there's been plenty of heartbreaking losses. I don't know that Dan freaking Campbell in only 6 games is able to take that crown, but the Detroit Lions might take that crown as an organization because we've had lots of tough losses, lots of last-minute issues, lots of referee conundrums, you may call them, in plenty of football games. So I'm not sure who would present it to Dan Campbell, but someone may need to present it to the Lions, at least now, because pretty much after this season and moving forward, that's going to be put to bed. There are going to be W's for Charlie and others, and there are going to be exciting things going on with the Detroit Lions across the board. And I just ask you here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast to do one thing. As we end this press conference, I appreciate all the questions. I appreciate, what you guys have all brought to the table. I've tried to stand up for my team, my city, what they're building, Dan freaking Campbell, Jared Goff, the players on this team. And I just say, let's just end it with what we do here on the Koolaid Cast. That's simply this.
Drink it in, man.
Drink that Detroit Kool-Aid, everybody. Thank you. I got to go. Take care.
What does that even mean? Drink it in. I don't get it.
Oh, my goodness, everybody. That went off the rails quickly, but Joey brings it every time. So
that was interesting to watch, Derek. There was a lot of different characters from a lot of different walks of life.
Yes, you definitely quite the group of characters. You not maybe how we thought about the segment, but very entertaining, as well as, like I said, I tried to come strong because there's a lot of national media that are killing this team, that are making jokes about the Lions, that look at the record, look at some of the talent, are just killing them. And I know there's a lot of Kool-Aid drinkers, a lot of Detroit Lions diehards that are like, oh no, this rebuild's going exactly how a rebuild should. We got the picks in our back pocket, multiple. We've got players. We've got going to have cap space. We've got a young, energetic coach. We've got a solid GM that can actually pick talent. I think there's a lot of people that are real excited. So we had fun with that, but I just wanted to put some of that to bed because I feel like it's going to be turning the corner here, and a lot of people are excited despite the others that are frustrated and just want to win absolutely today, rather than rebuild it the right way.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Charlie Smarley, first of all, I mean, she's in high school, dude. You know what I mean? You got to cut her some slack. I mean, she doesn't understand, I think, the history of the Lions. And look, man, we've been talking about it since the preseason. Like, It's not so much about wins this year. It's about, is Dan Campbell the long-term future? And you guys have all these picks coming up. If you get the number one pick, do you really need to, you don't have to take a quarterback, right? You could trade that for even more picks. You could have like 3 or 4 first rounders next year. I don't know. I mean, I think the process of getting through this year and getting to next year is kind of going off without a hitch for you guys.
Yeah. And if you're intimating that Charlie Smarley was a female, I apologize for the yelling. I was assuming it was kind of a
she was
nerdy
mean. She's
high
a mean
schooler.
Girl. It's fine, Derek.
Yeah, I did not mean to come across that way, but like you say, we had fun with that segment. Now, Joey, let's not mess around. I said we're going to get right into it on the show, so I want to take that quick pause for our sponsors, and then I want to come back and talk some real legitimate ball that went down this Sunday, and that's the Lions Rams. You're out in LA, even though you're a Chicago guy, yet you're on the Koolaid. I don't know what's going on there, but I know that the Lions went into the LA Rams Stadium and put up a hell of a fight. Very aggressive, fun game to watch. I think we'll get into all that after the break. What do you say?
Yeah, let's do it.
Everybody, we'll be right back. All right, everybody. This goes out to my fantasy football fans out there. Now, you probably heard about Reality Sports Online, the most powerful fantasy sports platform where owners can build and manage their fantasy team like a real NFL general manager. But the question is, have you tried it? I mean, we're talking free agency, multi-year contracts, rookie drafts, multi-team trades. You can put franchise tags on guys. It's as close as you're going to get to being an NFL GM. But do you think it sounds complicated? It's not. I'm here to tell you it's the best thing about Reality Sports Online is it's just more fun than your normal fantasy league, but it doesn't take barely any more time. After all this, are you still not sure? I mean, come on now. You can test your general manager skills by going over to Reality Sports Online, call it RSO. Please go check out realitysportsonline.com right now. All right, Kool-Aid drinkers, we do what we do, which we try to entertain you there in the front part of the show. Joey went in this crazy character mode. I just got all ramped up talking about trying to defend. This is one thing I've been trying to do on Twitter, Joey. I've been trying to defend my Detroit Lions for people that are taking pot shots, people that aren't respecting us, people that are wanting to just look at the record and just go ham on this team. I think they're putting it together. I think it's coming. It's a tough season, don't get me wrong, but get some W's, get that top selection, and away we go. So I was going to give you off the top, I gave you the @JoeySportsGuy before we get into this Rams game. Like, definitely throw out some things, or I just want to promote all your stuff because, man, you're always dropping a video. You're always dropping pods with all types of folks across the sports and entertainment realm. So do your thing.
Well, thank you so much, Derek. Yeah, as you had mentioned previously, Joey Sports Guy at Instagram and Twitter. Please give a follow or just watch the videos and throw on a like. I do talk a lot about Chicago sports, but I like to try and branch out, as I'm branching out by being on Derek's show, which I love doing every single month, talking about stuff that maybe goes outside of Chicago. I'm also hosting a show called Bet on Chicago for the Believe Podcast Network that covers Chicago sports, Chicago pop culture, entertainment, a bunch of other kinds of stuff. And then Believe in Bears with former Chicago Bears defensive end and, for a very brief time, former Detroit Lion Corey Wooten. We do 2 shows a week, a post-game, pre-game show, breaking down the Bears matchups, which has been tough sledding lately. And then finally, I work for rotoballer.com. I do 2 videos a week for them on YouTube. Just go to rotoballer, ROTO, baller, and I do quarterback start sits, tight end start sits all week long, and also do a boom and bust video too as well with my buddy Dave Rispoli. Check out that video. If you guys have questions or comments, drop those comments below, because I try and do a really good job of answering everyone's questions as you go along. So if you have a question, it will not be unheeded on that network. Back to you, Derek.
Joey, so many good stuff putting out there. Definitely always want to let you plug that. Everybody go check it out. Give them the follow. Now, I got 2 quick follow-up questions for you in this game. One, I don't think you'll mind me mentioning. You left out my favorite thing that you've done in all of media, and that is you are the star, the absolute guy that made or broke, and I think you made it, my friend, that Burger King Cha-King commercial. Joey is the man in that commercial. It's incredible. Every time I see it, I'm like, I can't believe my man Joey's doing his thing. It's awesome.
Derek, well, thank you for saying that. I will throw one more thing out there just to pile on the stack one more time.
Yes.
If you go on YouTube and you keyword right now, RORIGHT, right now, with John Goblikon, GOBLIKICON, John Goblikon, it is a show where a goblin from hell interviews heavy metal bands and DJs and actors and social media influencers. I am on that show. I am the sidekick. We just shot some new episodes last week that I think are going to be coming out November 4th. So if you're interested in a little comedy, it is the Halloween season. Go ahead and YouTube that. Check out some of the videos. They're really hilarious. I'm not like the star in them. I'm the side guy. The Goblin is so funny. You guys got to check it out.
No doubt. Now, one other side item I got for you is that how's the Twitter world treating you? How is the name change to @JoeySportsGuy going? You had that ridiculous handle before. You said you didn't really want to get on Twitter. I said that's where we get all our news these days. That's where everything breaks. That's where the great people out there love to talk sports and love great content. I mean, is it going well for you with this new name change as well as getting the tweets out there?
It's been going fine, Derek. Honestly, like I just try and continuously bring consistent content. So if you do put on a follow for me every single day, I hopefully have a little something for you. And it's not just tweets, but it's like video content and stuff and different things to take a look at. It's going cool, Derek. I mean, in general, honestly, I don't, and you know this because I didn't join Twitter for forever until 3 months ago. I'm not the biggest fan of social media. I will tell you, Derek, my two favorite things about Twitter, though, so far, and you were 100% right, is one, if you want like a highlight from a game and you're not watching said game, if you go to Twitter, chances are there will be a highlight of that. So if there's a 55-yard touchdown that you kind of miss on Red Zone or whatever, maybe like a dunk or a basketball game that you miss, you can go on there and watch highlights right away. And then also it's been really great also for post-game stuff and interviews, that kind of breaking news. I'm getting better. You got to walk before you run on Twitter, and I'm slowly getting there. So I guess I'm enjoying it.
Perfect, man. Like say, it's instant content all day, every day. That's just my news feed. I just scroll through and I give likes and retweets to things I enjoy. I try to put out sports, football, Lions content when I can. You know, we're all crazy busy, but glad you're doing your thing there, as well as all the facets across the board. Everybody definitely go check out all his content. The guy's the king of all video, talking to a million great people, as well as just give that follow, give those likes. That really helps him out a lot as well. So Joey, I love having you on the show talking ball. I don't want to spend too much on this game. That's why we had fun on the first segment, because everybody knows what happened. But the Rams, Stafford versus the Lions went down this past Sunday. I mean, it was the game everybody's looking forward to. Everybody here in Detroit was actually dreading it because we weren't playing that well. We just got spanked by the Bengals. Matt Stafford's playing MVP type football. Had a lot of trepidations going into this game, but oh my goodness, this thing gets kicked off. Lions go right down the field with a 60-plus yard TD screen ball to DeAndre Swizzle. Next thing you know, it's an onside kick. We get that. We go down and get points. Then next thing you know, we're faking punts, multiple punts. I mean, we were just all over the place with Mr. Campbell and company, and I absolutely loved it while number 9 was standing over there with his ball cap. I mean, were you as caught off guard as everybody was by the aggressiveness, the approach the Lions took, and the fact that they're up early and even halfway through this ball game, they're right in it, playing really good ball? Typically,
fake punts, onside kicks in the first half, I would normally say I'm shocked and surprised, but Derek, man, I mean, this is Dan Campbell's. I don't think this is going to be his vibe, in the years to come, but I think this year specifically, especially with you guys trying to get your first win on the board, this is not surprising at all. I mean, he went for 2 when he could have tied the game. What was it, 1 or 2 weeks ago? And it worked. I mean, this is a guy that goes for it on 4th down in the red zone. He did that against the Bears. I mean, it's becoming a familiar story, unfortunately, of the Jared Goff factor not being able to put together 4 quarters, and then obviously the interceptions in the 4th quarter was something that was so Rams-esque of his past life as a Ram, that wasn't very promising. But again, I'm kind of still looking at the positives for you guys. I mean, DeAndre Swift straight up is, an RB1 in fantasy. He's a two-way player. I think he's obviously, him and Goff have this fantastic chemistry going. He can kind of lean on him. You still are incorporating Jamal Williams. You know what I mean? It's not like he's the forgotten man. You know, they're splitting carries, 13 to 12 almost every single game. Hawkinson's knee injury has been kind of tough on you guys. And look, we don't have to bang our head against the wall about your wide receiver position, because if you don't have guys healthy on the field, what can you honestly really say about what Goff can do in that area? But hey, man, look, you guys took the lead, 3 times in that game, right? When you took the score, and then later on you kicked a field goal. The Rams are a really good team. I know you guys are knocking on the door. I'm curious to hear when you kind of think, you guys are going to pick up a win. You play up an Eagles team this week that I definitely think you guys can beat them in. But again, Derek, am I wrong? This is all about 4 quarters. You guys got to put together 4 quarters of solid football, and Goff has to stop turning the ball over. Until that doesn't happen anymore, you guys are going to continue to see the same results.
Yeah, no, I like everything you said there. I mean, my favorite part of that take was you threw in a little fantasy football, which, I love fantasy football. DeAndre Swift has been a ball player. Joey, I let you in one of my leagues. It's a long-standing league, a lot of great buddies, real competitive. Have you checked the standings in that league at all recently?
Man, it's been so brutal since Russell Wilson went down. I was cooking 3-1, and I think now I'm down to 3-4, something like that. I'm sinking like a rock. But I got some injured receivers coming back. I got Jerry Jeudy on the way. Maybe Michael Thomas we'll see in a couple of weeks. And, of course, Dalvin Cook had his annual, I'm going to be hurt for a couple of weeks. Man, it's just tough. I think I'm rolling Danny Dimes now out at this point. The Russell Wilson injury really, really kind of derailed what I thought was a fairly promising campaign. But I trust me, Derek, I'm not giving up. There are people sending me wild, completely imbalanced trades about 3 or 4 times a week. I'm still open for business. Bring it on in. I'm not going to kick you out of the store just because I say no. But, I'm kind of at that point right now. I think the vultures are circling and picking at my carcass, but I'm going to hang in there, and I think brighter days are ahead.
Okay, so all those excuses are noted, and they have been recorded here on the show, but you totally dodged the question. Have you checked the standings? Do you see who's at the top of the standings? That would be
did
me.
You win this week? Are you in first place, my friend? Are you 5-2?
I'd be at the top. Did you see who whooped your tail a couple weeks ago? That would be me. So that's what I was going for. I was getting you to pat me on the back. Instead, you talked about all the reasons why you aren't winning. So, I mean, it's expected. But anyway, that's a fantasy football side tangent for every you, because I don't talk about it much, but because I'm killing it in almost every league, yes, I'm going to brag sometimes. That's what we do. That's why we have fantasy football and why it's so fun. When you're losing, you can make excuses like Joey and my buddy Luke out there, who told me every reason that he's at the bottom. And I'm like, dude, you won it 2 out of the last 3 years. And then I said, can't you give me some credit? I'm up top. I'm killing it. He said, no, just like you. So it is what it is.
No, I give you tons of credit, but like everyone else on the planet, I think about myself first. And, I'm on a Lions pod right now, so I got into making excuses for not winning. What can I say? Ding, ding, baby.
Oh, man. All right. Well, let's just, like you said, this game, they were ahead quite a bit. They do need to finish the 4 quarters. Jared Goff does need to not turn the football over. But my thing was this defense. It continues to play above average, tough, grimy football, and that's from guys like Jerry Jacobs. Who exactly? This guy's become a really nice corner and a guy that can make plays. He got jobbed on a call or 2 in this game. He's always sticky. He's really a fighter. I like this kid a lot. Other players on this team, undrafted guys up front, seem to be doing some things. They're holding teams other than that Cincinnati game where, man, they're playing pretty tough, which I like to see. I thought Matt Stafford, even though we kept him on the sideline, anytime he got out there, he made the plays he had to and was pretty sharp. I thought he got in some 3rd and longs. And of course, that was the time where the Lions either busted coverage or couldn't get after the quarterback. And then he had just enough time to zing one, 30 yards down the field to who else? Cooper Kupp and others. So I felt like that hurt the Lions. Now, I want to throw this at you, Joey, because I kind of know what I was thinking. 4th and 1, kind of later in the ball game. They're on their side of the football field. Could have took a field goal to take the lead. I think it would have been 17-16 or something at that point, had they taken the field goal. And instead he goes for it and he rushes them up to the line. Dan Campbell does, and they run up the middle with DeAndre Swift. I mean, I don't know if you saw this live or have heard about it, but do you take the points there and take the lead late in the game, or were you like, hey, you've been aggressive, you're going for everything, just go for it?
there is, and this brings up, I think, a broader, interesting conversation about what's going on in the NFL this year, because I feel like in general, I feel like fourth down, going for it on fourth down is very in vogue this year, more than it's ever been. If you look across the league, everyone's going for it on fourth down. I got to be honest, Derek, I'm a get the points guy. I know the counter to that is, well, you're playing the Rams, and they're going to just keep scoring, and you got to convert, field goals into touchdowns against the Rams. I don't know, when you're in that opportunity, I think drives are pretty sacred, especially when you have a successful enough drive to get down in that area. I would have kicked the field goal, man. And to your point, if you've got this gritty, tough defense rolling right now, I have a hard time when coaches project a concept that they think there's going to be a future negative result, as in, we can't kick the field goal here because we need to score more points because we think the Rams are going to score another touchdown. I think that's a negative projection, in my opinion. I can be wrong. That's just where I kind of land on it. I would have kicked for the points there and, just roll up the sleeves and just try and have the defense stop the Rams.
Yeah, see, the problem I had with it was, I think you can always take the points later is what people look at, but in the moment, I was watching the game going, yeah, go for this. But what I didn't like is they were a little bit discombobulated. Like I said, they rushed up to the line. They didn't look sure of themselves. And to me, I'm always negative, even though DeAndre Swift has popped a few up the middle and he has nice shiftiness and power, as I mentioned earlier. That's not the type of play call I'm running when they just shut you down the play before on a similar play. And they have, I don't know if you've heard of him, Aaron Donald in the middle along with others up there. So if I'm going on fourth, I'm always a proponent of either throwing or running outside, giving yourself some space, some options. All this NFL tough guy where it's like, we're going to sneak it, we're going to run it right down your throat. Like, those are the plays I always see get blown up, and that's what happened to the Lions here. They ran up the middle, it got blown up, you get no push, you get nowhere for the running back to go, and you don't get it. So I guess that was my issue with that, is I would have went for it, but I would have taken more time to kind of get my team together because it was a huge play, or I would have just been more creative and done something better. I mean, sometimes even those trick plays, a lot of misdirection works on fourth and short like the Chiefs and other teams do. So I thought that was a little bit of a mishap. But to me, I put on Twitter, you guys can find me at Derek Oakley. I was like, don't kill Jared Goff for this pick late in the game, because to me, it didn't seem like the right time to just take an all or nothing shot. But if they thought they had a play, I don't mind it. Now, the problem was he got pressure, he threw it. Jared Goff, he has a definite, distinct, lack of arm strength compared to what we're used to, because the ball just does not get there. It does not look pretty in the air. But he did get hit. It fluttered. Ramsey undercut it and picked. To me, that wasn't the end of the world. I knew that pretty much ended the game, but I didn't feel like it was this awful decision. How could you do this? I felt like he was about to take a shot at TJ Hawkinson to the end zone. He thought he had it, and he got blown up, and the pass got picked by the best corner in the game. So not a big deal there. I mean, what do you think? Is that just one you chalk up as a bad play by Goff, or is it a better player by the defense?
I would probably put that one on just making a nice play right there. But my wheels on the defense, that is. But my wheels are turning a little bit, and I'm sure you've probably covered it already on the Koolaid Cast. But if you can indulge me for a second, what is your take on, the Dan Campbell call out of Goff? It's been about a week and a half ago now at this point, and just the concept of, at some point, the dude's going to have to start playing turnover-free football. It's a bad combination if the guy can't throw deep and he's still turning the ball over. That's not a great combination. But what was your take on Campbell's call out of Goff?
Yeah, it's a good follow-up. I mean, I think, my impression the whole time was that's why I love Dan Campbell so much, is he doesn't go by these old creeds of like, I'm never going to say anything that's truthful. Like, all he said in the presser was we need and expect more from him, and he needs a little bit of help, and we think he can do that. And in this game, again, you can blame Jared Goff all you want, but 268, touchdown, I want to say the one pick, was a mishap, and then this one was just kind of you got hit on the play and the guy undercut a ball, and yeah, maybe it's a chance you shouldn't have taken, but they seemed all on board of wanting to do it. So I had no problem with what he said in the presser. I think Jared Goff was fine. He just like, hey, that's totally cool. Like they have respect for each other. He knows he's an open, honest guy, and I think he's coming out and playing better. Now the flip side of that is like, I'm done with Jared Goff in regards to my hope for him as the long-term answer or this multi-year guy. I've seen enough as far as his ability to make those big-time plays. Now, if you put a really good team around him, I feel like, yeah, he could definitely help you win ball games. But with this team, with the team they'll have next year, even if he's around, yeah, it's not going to be pretty, and Detroit fans are just done with him as well. They're kind of like, yeah, this isn't the guy, but we all know we're gonna have him this year and next.
I've said this before, dude, and I wasn't trying to be a jerk. You guys just deserve better, and I'm completely in agreement with you, because I agree with you also that if you surround him with really strong talent, he can thrive and he can be successful. But that doesn't match the paycheck, right? It doesn't match the paycheck for what you're going to be paying him moving forward, and what I think you guys really want to try and do. So again, hold down the fort. He's going to play some snaps. He's going to hopefully, I think obviously you guys are going to probably win a game or two in the near future. That's definitely going to happen. But then, that's why I was on board with Dan Campbell doing it, because honestly, if you're going to be down all these wide receivers, I think you could have a really fun debate about who's your best offensive player right now. Is it Goff, Swift, or Hawkinson? Goff makes the most money, and Campbell's looking around the room being like, hey, man, if you're one of our best guys on this unit, you got to play better. There's no two ways to slice that. And unfortunately, I think that just might be, just Goff's career moving forward, which is fine for you guys. You play with him for a year or two. Eventually, you'll get out of the money. You'll find somebody else. And by then, the cupboard will be so stacked with other defensive options and hopefully offensive weapons. And you keep this offensive line intact. And then you'll be ready to roll.
Yeah, that's where everybody's at with it, as well as, the Kool-Aid drinkers and people that love this team they're just swallowing it, Hey, this is our guy for the next year or two while we build up the foundation, why we put playmakers around him. And next year, if they add a receiver or two and keep Mr. Hawkinson and keep using this running back combo, I think he could have a decent season. But my thoughts of him, like, being the steal of this trade or a guy that can, really rally around, like, he just doesn't have it when it comes to arm talent, as well as, his decision making isn't there, his playmaking ability isn't there, and that's been easy to see since the first couple games. Like, I had to kind of see him with this team and in this uniform to sort of get to that point, but I'm totally cool with him being around too as they kind of rebuild everything else up, as you said. So that's where everybody's at with Mr. Goff. But I just want to say this about this Rams game to kind of put a button on it, finish this up, is like, I was real proud of the Lions. Now, some people out there, have always beat me up, or, this is the Koolaid Cast, everybody will say, like, it's either a win or a loss. And I'm always like, no, not really, because there's lots of losses that really sting. There's wins that don't feel very good because you lucked out. So, yes, we all know the bottom line is you get a win or a loss in the column, but they all feel very different. This one felt very different to me. The fact that we didn't get ran off the field, the fact that we were very aggressive, the fact that the coaches had enough foresight and smarts to be able to not only think about these trick plays but pull them off flawlessly was great to see. Jared Goff had a much better game, hung in there. The running game was fine. Khalif Raymond had 115 yards receiving. That's just an added bonus. And they were in this pretty much till the end. It took maybe a few plays that took this game, from being a real nail biter to, oh yeah, okay, the Rams won it, but damn, the Lions played well. So I was proud of the team. I thought it's something you could definitely build off this week as we head to the Eagles game, which be fortunate enough to have you on the Friday and talk about it. So I chalk this up as a good loss by the Detroit Lions.
And yeah, maybe my final thought to you as well, and this is just a mantra that I would just try and lend to the Detroit Kool-Aid drinkers out there. It's this whole concept of, now look, I would highly recommend you win a game, right? You don't want to go 0-17. You don't want those comparisons from the past. You don't want that because it'll leak into the national media or whatever. But you kind of mentioned like Lions fans sort of dealing with pot shots from other people. And I would just say, guys, just hold your head up high. I mean, again, Go 1-16, whatever it takes to get that number one pick next year. And as long as people want to make fun of you and do whatever, like, honestly, you guys, you knew what you were doing when you walked into the season. It's all about the season after that, and then the season after that. You're telling me if you have the number one pick next year, plus the Rams pick, which will be in the 20s, and I don't know, maybe you figure out a way to trade that one pick for the 3 and the 7, and then you have 3, 7, and 25 in the first round next year. Like, it's a tongue-clucking situation that I think you guys can be in very, very, very quickly. And you already know that you're taking your lumps, so don't feel bad about it. These other people that want to give you guys a hard time about it, just keep walking, man. You guys know the path. You know the process. You know it's not this year. You hope it's next year, and then you feel really good about the year after. So just hang in there, guys. Hang in there. Keep, competitive losses. As long as the team doesn't quit on Dan Campbell, as long as DeAndre Swift keeps getting better, Hawkinson keeps getting better. The Okwara thing was a super bummer. But you seem to like some of your guys in your defense. So just, keep playing, man, and keep, you want that high draft pick. I mean, that is the one thing you got to walk out of this year with is that high draft pick. You're on the road. Keep going.
There it is, everybody, at Joey Sports Guy.
Drink it in, man.
Joey, really appreciate it, man. I'm looking forward to talking to you on Friday. Who knows what we might cook up, as well as we got to preview this Eagles game and have some fun talking balls. We always do. Appreciate you coming on, man.
Anytime, man. Great to see you. Great to talk to you. And see you back Friday for a very spooky pod.
There we go, everybody. Drink that Detroit Kool-Aid. Take care. We'll catch you Friday right here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast. Take care, everybody. We're out.
Pack the bags, start the plane. This game is over. It is over. What a comeback by the Lions. Drink it in, man.